start with news from Gaza. At least 15 people, including 4 journalists working for international media, have been killed by 2 Israeli military strikes.
Among them, 5 journalists for international news outlets, including the Associated Press and Reuters.
Unfortunately, it's the media and the Western world deteriorating. They are not really as fair as they used to be.
Our position.
1,400 people being slaughtered.
Our position. Our position.
How can you not condemn what they did?
Our position.
Obviously, Western journalists are reporting in countries that are allied to Israel, where governments treat Israel in a particular way.
This session is a heartbreaking reminder that though we are all human, we are capable of creating social frictions and then cause great pain to each other for those concepts alone. Though the attacks on Israeli citizens on October 7, 2023 are without any hesitation condemnable, the story of violence visited on the Palestinian citizens has been going on for far too long now. In this extensive interview, my colleague Prajakta Joshi and Abhishek Bhosle will talk to His Excellency Mr. Abdullah Abushawesh about the most tragic chain of events in the modern times. I will now introduce our panel. Prajakta Joshi is a chief reporter at Indie Journal. Abhishek Bhosle is a doctoral researcher at SOAS. His Excellency Abdullah Abushawesh is Ambassador of the State of Palestine to the Republic of India since 2024. From 2014 to 2022, he served at the Permanent Observer Mission of the State of Palestine to the United Nations in New York. Born in Gaza, he completed his education in the West Bank. He began his career in public service in 1998. I would now like to invite Prajakta and Abhishek to come on stage with His Excellency.
Thank you, Roma. Without wasting any time, absolutely, I think I will start with this interaction immediately. The Palestinian struggle and the Palestinian resistance is at least a decade, as we know it today, is at least a few decades long, if not more. But it has come to the forefront since October 7, 2023, in a very strange way, I must say. The name of our session today is How the World Saw Palestine. And now someone would ask why we have this session at a media conclave. So I would say that, first of all, media is about everything. Media is all encompassing. And secondly, media had a big role to play, a big part to play in how the world saw Palestine. And those who owned and control media, and I'm not just talking about some corporates, but it includes all the countries, the lobby groups, everything. So those who own and control the media also had a lot to do with how the perspectives about not just Palestine, but the recent focus of conflict which has been. So how the perspective about it was shaped. So I think today we would hope to explore all these aspects and more in our interaction with His Excellency, Mr. Abushawesh.
Yes, thank you Prathamesh and Indie Journal for organizing this panel, which is very important. Mr. Ambassador, I will just quickly give the context of this panel in Marathi for the audience. मी लंडनमध्ये PhD करतो आणि शिकवतो तिथे. तर जग सगळं पॅलेस्टाईन आणि इस्रायलमध्ये जे सुरू आहे आणि युक्रेन रशियामध्ये जे युद्ध सुरू आहे आणि सगळं जग ढवळून गेलं आहे. पण त्याची चर्चा जेवढी आपल्याकडे व्हायला पाहिजे होती तेवढी चर्चा जास्त प्रमाणात झाली आणि त्यातल्या त्यात ग्राउंड रियालिटीज काय आहेत ह्या आपण आपल्यापर्यंत पोहोचल्या नाहीत. आत्ता ज्या क्लिपमध्ये दाखवलं ते माध्यमापुरती जरी ती क्लिप असली तरी वास्तव त्याच्या पलीकडचं आहे भयानक. म्हणजे जवळपास आत्ता जो डेट आहे 70,000 लोक पॅलेस्टाईनियन नागरिक मारली गेलेली आहेत. 200 पत्रकार मारले गेलेले आहेत. 500पेक्षा जास्त पत्रकार जखमी आहेत आणि 200पेक्षा जास्त पत्रकारांना इस्रायलनी ताब्यात घेतलेलं आहे आणि त्याच्याबद्दल टॉर्चरच्या खूप साऱ्या गोष्टी समोर येत आहेत. तुम्हाला आठवत असेल काही महिन्यांपूर्वी लंडनमध्ये निर्वासितांविरोधात खूप मोठा मोर्चा झाला अशी बातमी आली आणि त्याची खूप चर्चा झाली, म्हणजे प्रत्येक माध्यम संस्थांनी ते कव्हर केलं. पण त्याच लंडनमध्ये दर शनिवारी लाखो लोकांचे पॅलेस्टाईनच्या समर्थनामध्ये किंवा हे युद्ध थांबवण्याबद्दलचे मोर्चे निघतात, ते आपल्यापर्यंत पोहोचत नाहीत. म्हणजे तिथंच मीडियाचा काय रोल आहे ते लक्षात येतं. दुसरी क्विकली गोष्ट सांगतो की 1968मध्ये जसं विद्यापीठांमध्ये गोष्टी घडल्या, आत्ता ह्या काळात त्याच पद्धतीच्या गोष्टी किंवा चळवळी अनेक विद्यापीठांमध्ये उभ्या राहिल्या. अमेरिका, युरोपमधल्या विद्यापीठांमध्ये एन्कॅम्पमेंट सुरू झाले. माझ्या विद्यापीठात एन्कॅम्पमेंट झाला आणि एका विद्यार्थिनीला पॅलेस्टाईनला समर्थन केलं म्हणून काढून टाकलं, म्हणजे UK मधली पहिली घटना. आणि तिसरी गोष्ट जी आपल्यासाठी इथं खूप महत्त्वाची आहे, डाव्या चळवळीतल्या लोकांनी पॅलेस्टाईनच्या समर्थनात इथं आंदोलन करायचं ठरवलं आणि कोर्टाने असं सांगितलं की ते प्रकरण तिकडचं आहे, तुम्ही कशाला इथं आंदोलन करताय, तुम्ही इथल्या पाण्याच्या प्रश्नावर, इथल्या स्वच्छतेच्या प्रश्नावरती आंदोलन करा, कचऱ्याच्यावर, त्याचं आपल्याला काय करायचं आहे. तर एवढी असंवेदनशीलता ह्या विषयामध्ये आपल्याला दिसली, म्हणून हे सेशन खूप महत्त्वाचं आहे. जस्ट हा कॉन्टेक्स्ट सेशन का आहे. यस,
Thank you, Abhishek. So I would like to start with my first question to you. And since we are talking about media, and since our topic is how the world saw Palestine, and how also, of course, India saw Palestine, my first question would be that the way we see how Indian media covers or does not cover what's happening in Palestine right now, what do you think about that? How do you look at that? Being in India, now that we are all in India, what do you think, how does Indian media fare on that?
Thank you so much indeed, and starting by saying namaskar, and to extend many thanks, of course, to Mr. Pratmesh for his generous invitation, and of course to the India Journal team at large. Much appreciation and thanks to you, Projekta, so to speak. Yes, I pronounce it very well, and to you, Abhishek, for having me tonight. But before we start, of course, and because this is my moral responsibility as ambassador of Palestine, and my legal and my diplomatic responsibility, because again, we are talking about the media and how the media or how the world saw Palestine. Usually the world, because Palestine, the international, the entire Palestine, the historical land of Palestine is only 27,000 square kilometers, which means nothing comparing to the size, to any place worldwide. But the world used to see Palestine through your screens, your camera, your journals, so that, and this is very important. But again, back to my main point, once you start, because again, we are talking about media, 2 times you mentioned October 7th, which means that again, as if the galaxy itself was started in October 7th. Unfortunately, again, this is the media. No, the question of Palestine was started long time ago, and if you want me to take you back to the thousands of years ago, according again to the Old Testament, Genesis, verses 21-34, we sojourned Abraham in the land of Palestine, not Palestine, Palestine, many days. Again, we sojourned Abraham in the land of Palestine many days. This is something will not be appear on any camera. The other turning point in our history, November 2nd, 1917, which even did not appear in the cameras, when the United Kingdom, do you want me to remind you as Indian, United Kingdom in 1917, with 0 footprint in our land, 0 moral or legal or diplomatic right to or on our land, issued the notorious despicable Balfour Declaration. In this declaration, the one who did not own, the one who have 0 footprint in our land, decided to pledge to gifted our homeland, Palestine, the historical land of Palestine, to the Khazarian Jew. And when I say Khazarian Jew, I hope that you all used to use or professional to use Google, so that just Google it, Khazarian Jew. Khazarian Jew means that the Jewish whom is converted to Judaism 1100 years ago, but they have 0 connection to the old Hebrews. They are not descendant, I mean, of Israel, Yaakov, Ishaq, and all of this stuff. But again, once you start, 2 times, you mentioned, not you, you and the other lady mentioned October 7th, and again, this means that as if the galaxy, if the history just started in October 7th, which is unfair at all, because in October 6th, if I ask anyone, do you know what happened in October 6th, Friday, 2023? No one knows, because our blood is so cheap that 6 Palestinians has been slain, killed, but it make no news in any screen worldwide. Since 2023, January 1st, till October 6th, Friday, 23, more than 400 Palestinians had been killed. One of them, I know him. I know his father, of course. Muhammad al-Tamimi, 2.5 years old, sniped, intentionally sniped for fun. Do you want me to repeat it? Many of the Palestinian children used to be sniped, killed for the camera, for the Israeli camera, for the Israeli army soldier camera. We have thousands of videos, hundreds of thousands of photos that can prove this. Anyone will give us the chance to spread, to broadcast, to send this to any screen worldwide? No, because again, and this should take us to another pillar, which is media is controlled. Whether you like it, whether we did not like it, and we did not like it as a Palestinian, but it is controlled. Absolutely, it is controlled and biased. At the large, it's biased, and I mean the Western media. They accused anyone saying that of being anti-Semitic. They cannot accuse me of being anti-Semitic because I'm a Semitic person. Semitic person is 7 race. I hope that you review it, because the biggest trap that we all had been fallen in it is that the Semitic mean anti-Jewish. It's not true. Semitic people is 7 race. Google it. And the Canaani people, the Palestinian, is the most pure Semitic people. So that this is not anti-Semitic. And if anyone will going to accuse, they can accuse you, but they cannot accuse me of being anti-Semitic. So again, the media did not give us the chance to speak ourselves, to speak the truth, and to tell our story. So that when I received this invitation, I did not think 2 times. Yes, I want to jump to face 200, 300 persons here to tell part of my story. Because we, the Palestinians, had not have the chance or denied the right to tell our story even before the establishment of the State of Israel, when the media, the Western media, the main slogan that hijacked the discourse at that time is land without people for people without land. Regarding India media, I had been here since 9 months. I'm pretty sure that you use, and I used to say that loud and clear, not yet. India media not yet gave us the chance as a Palestinian, equal chance likewise the Israeli occupation ambassador to appear in the screens. They did not give us. And not only that, we are censored when it came to the social media. The Facebook for the state of Palestine, embassy of the state of Palestine, have only 31 followers in India. Could you imagine? At least there is 1,000 Indian person out of 1.4 billion Indian person. Try to check to find us. And out of the 1,000, there is 100 at least, 10% will going to follow us, yet not. We are censored in the social media, in the Twitter account, while the Israeli ambassador and anyone is supporting Israel, needless to tell you how many thousands of followers he used to have. But anyhow, but we are doing a bit good with the Indian media, and many is starting to reach us to us.
So, sir, just because you mentioned Western media, I think I would like to just take one more question before I hand over the mic to you. And yes, it is totally unfair to look at the issue of Palestine and the struggle of the Palestinian people just from October 7, 2023, because that's completely unfair. But what I was saying was how the media took it and how it completely took over that perspective, or how we saw, especially in Western media, how misinformation was a big, have used in a big way after October 7th, in a biased way against Palestine, and how that came into play. For example, we saw the language that was used to report about the violence, how it was different for Israel and different for Palestine, about the deaths that had happened. Or again, as we saw a lot of fake news being reported, and then some big reputed news organizations later had to apologize, take it back. Some did not even do that. So how the Western media, how it sort of took over this one incident, and how it covered Palestine after that, and what do you think about that?
You already mentioned everything. Not only this, I already said that before October 7th, we are completely removed from the screens. And anyone, even when they used to tackle the Palestinian question up to date, it's a statistical issue reporting, not story. Big difference between give the Palestinian the chance or report about the Palestinian issue. I mean, 70,000 was killed, so all of these stuff of reporting, which is fact, you can find it everywhere, or to give the Palestinian the chance to tell the root of the problem. Media, the Western media at large, is complicit in this genocide. And let me just remind you all that what is the fugitive from justice? The Israeli Prime Minister, and when I say fugitive from justice, this is not the claim. This is according to the international law. The exact wording that should be used to describe him fugitive from international justice, Benjamin Netanyahu, when he at the very first hour said 40 babies had been beheaded. Child burned alive in front of their families. Raped women, and all of this stuff of lies. Yet up to date, and you can find it even when anyone go to Haaretz, the Israeli newspaper, haaretz.al, he will find all the names of every single person killed at that day up to date. Unfortunately, yes, there are 2 babies had been killed. Where is the other 40 babies? Yet, but this is part of the problem. The other part of the problem, US president at that time, Joe Biden, retweeted the same exact issue, but they took it out. Just approximately it stayed for 6 or 7 hours, not more than that. But by the end of the day, it was there. It was published. Up to date, many of the Western media still repeating the same exact lies. When it came again to the Western media, it was complicit long time ago, before even the establishment of the State of Israel, today, and will continue to be complicit for a very simple reason. It's controlled media. And this is, I'm not revealing a secret. You can, just with a simple Google, you did not need even to go to the ChatGPT, simple search, you will find that a lot of proven that it's a controlled media against the Palestinian people.
Yes, totally. You said it rightly. Just quickly, I will share one experience from BBC. Before 1.5 years, BBC, there was a big protest in support of Palestine in London, and BBC reported that march, which was in support of Palestine, but they reported it as a support for Hamas. So this narrative setting, what you are mentioning, is very important, how they set the narratives. And just quickly, this is a very important example, reporting about Palestine, that tells us who controls the information flow in the world. It's again, we talk about it. So you mentioned about this issue not started just 2 years before. It has a long history. And India always supported cause of Palestine. Just I will say not in last few years, but before that. But when these issues started after in 2 years, India took more time to decide what they think about this issue. They always keep them isolated from the issue, not to take stand or not to talk about this. Many times we thought India is supporting Israel. So being a diplomat in India, how was the situation with India, and how you think about India, what India could have done in this situation?
Indeed, what you mentioned at the very first part of your introduction to your question. Yes, they are trying to describe anyone, show any sympathy or empathy with the Palestinian people, Palestinian children, as supporter of X or Y. Not only this, even one of the Western country Minister of Foreign Affairs, Germany Minister of Foreign Affairs, it's an undeclared issue. She justified in front of the United Nations itself, loud and clear, the killing of the Palestinian people because they had been used or accused of being used as a human shield by a terrorist organization for sake of argument, of course. So that it's not only the media, it's also the politician, the politics. The political leaders in Western at large, yes, they are completely complicit in this particular issue. And needless to remind you that, for example, United States of America 6 times uses the veto in the United Nations Security Council, where I was for there 8 years, just to make sure the carnages continue. The slaughtering, the life stream slaughtering of the Palestinian people is continuing. When it came to India and the role of India, we should at least shed light in the history relation, the historical relation between India and Palestine. Mid-1930s, India and the Indian people, when you were, or your sister were, under the British colonization, you like to call it the British colonization, it's yours. India and the Indian people was with the Palestinian people in their revolution, first revolution, mid-1930s. 1947, India, under the great leadership of the great man Mahatma Gandhi, voted against the partition plan of Palestine, or 181 UN resolution. Voted against it. And Mahatma Gandhi declared Palestine belonged to the Palestinian people, likewise United Kingdom belonged to the British people. Mid-1970, India was recognized the PLO, Palestine Liberation Organization, as the sole and legitimate representative of the Palestinian people. 88, recognized the state of Palestine. We have office here long time ago. India is really supporting the Palestinian question. Just less than, in the last month at least, 5 resolutions in the United Nations was supported by India and voted in favor of it. We judge our bilateral relation with India because, again, I'm not a political commentator, and I know that there is a lot of view of that, but from my perspective as ambassador of Palestine to India, we judge it in a good and well manner. But still, there is much to do it in 2 levels. The governmental level, we are looking forward for the government of India to do much more, because this is India. And let me say something, I will not hesitate every time to repeat it. When I was in the United Nations and India was there, in any single document, and India would like to dig heel and to say we are here, everyone should keep mum. India is there. So that when it came, and this is a political weight for India, you should be very proud of your country that have this much political weight. I am one of the whom witnesses this political weight, and I'm proud to be there to witness this. So that, again, when it came to India, we look to India as a big brother with heavy political weight. And we would like India to utilize it, and we all the time, me in person, push forward. Yes, you have a more to do, and we would like you to do more. This is in the governmental level. In the public level, once you invited me here, this is a good and very important support. Since you are all listening to me here, this is a very important support. And in the, I will not say micro and macro level, in the official level and non-official or social level, if you have any sympathy with the Palestinian people, I trust that the vast majority of the Indian people, especially the Hindus here in India, have a strong sympathy and empathy with the Palestinians. But if you believe that each one of you is a game changer, and we are a game changer, if we just review our personal, I'm from the age that who was at that time, early 1980, mid 1980, when we used to write just a letter to dismantle the apartheid regime, because we believe at that time we are, as a very young or child, so to speak, persons, we are a game changer. If you believe that you are a game changer, there is much and many issues that you can do it. And to support the Palestinian question, and once you support the Palestinian question, if you believe that no one is safe until everyone is safe, and we, or the world is one family. I forget how to pronounce it in the original language, in the Hindu language. But if we believe of this very noble principle, we have much, and you have much to do it.
Yes, this is very important. You're finding hope from Indian public.
Just one thing I want to say about this, how you said how India, since India was founded, how it has supported Palestine. And we see even right now the discussions that have been going on around the world are like, people are saying that the countries that used to be colonizers or are colonizers are the ones that are supporting Israel, and the countries that used to be colonized, they understand and they support the Palestinian resistance. And I think what you said resonates a lot with that.
Indeed, I used to say, to compare between our history and your history. 80 years ago and 90 years ago, in India here, in this great country, of course, there are two schools of thought to resist the colonizer. Occupier, colonizer, it's yours, but you like to say colonizers. Two schools of thought. One represented by the great man Mahatma Gandhi, and the other one represented by, again, the great martyr Bhagat Singh. Yes, Bhagat Singh, great martyr. Raise your voice. You should be very proud that you have Bhagat Singh who pay his life for your freedom. Don't be hesitated, and don't let anyone accuse him of being anarchist or terrorist. He accused of being terrorist. Do you remember that? Yeah. New generation, do you remember that? Or do you know that he was hanged to death because they accused him of being terrorist? You should be very proud of your history. And the same exact issue we are facing today. Even President Abbas, and when you write Oslo Accord in Google, signing Oslo Accord, you're going to find His Excellency President Abbas is the one who signed Oslo Accord. He's the one who strongly believes of non-violence. They like to call it non-violence, which is, by the way, every single way of resisting the foreign occupation is aligned and acceptable and legal under the international law, even by the military resistance. And this is according to the international law. Even President Abbas, when it came to the terror and terrorist organization, and they accused him of being terrorist diplomat. Google it. So the classification is there. Bhagat Singh, with all due respect, of course, he's a terrorist, according to the occupier power, to the occupation power. We also a terrorist people. Terrorist organization, Palestinian National Authority, President Abbas, every single classification is there. In Israel, classification is there. Three main classification. If you are a Jew and show sympathy and empathy and supporting the Palestinian struggle, you are a self-hate Jew. By the way, my very first ever boss in the Ministry of Planning and International Cooperation is a Jewish man. His name is Ilan Halevi. And anyone come to my office, he will see his portrait there. And the very first ever government that we established, one of our cabinet minister is Rabbi Moshe Hirsch. Media will not give you any chance to know this type of information at all. The vast majority of the people whom is used to write and to defend the Palestinian question in America is Jewish people. Many of the Jewish people and the Israeli people stand with us right now in West Bank to face the terrorist settlers. But no one. So the classification is there. First, if you are a Jewish and supporting the Palestinian, you are a self-hate Jew. Second, if you are not Jewish and not Palestinian, without no exception, we are terrorists. Whether we like it or did not like it, Arab and Palestinian and Muslim, at large terrorist people. But even if you today, and I'm pretty sure that you already, to some extent, would like to show some sympathy, you are anti-Semitic. So the classification is there. Just how we, after 2 years of the carnage that is still ongoing, don't believe that there are a ceasefire with, while I have a lot of issue regarding the vocabulary, the wording ceasefire, but the ceasefire is not there. Just 3 weeks ago, I'm sorry to say that, it's personal issue. They killed 14 persons of Abushawesh family. 9 of them is just children of my cousins. So there is no ceasefire. Carnage is still ongoing, and slaughtering of the Palestinians is still ongoing by many ways. And just, again, since we are talking about the media, the Western media, complicit media, will not give you the chance to see this fact. Also, don't forget that approximately 270 of your colleagues in Gaza had been slaughtered intentionally of the media correspondent.
Yes, and whenever I personally meet the people from Palestine, everyone has the same story. Their family members are died in this conflict. There is no one tells that they don't have any don't lost anything in this war and conflict. As you mentioned quickly about Bhagat Singh, we always find the question of Palestine is not now, it's a question about imperialism and colonization, right? We always talking about it. And recently I was reading your statement when you visited Kerala. You mentioned that you're going from the same phase that India went during the freedom struggle. So it's the same situation for Palestinian people of freedom struggle. But India had a freedom struggle in 1947 or before that. The situation was totally different. World was totally different. World structure was totally different. How challenging it is for you and Palestinian people to fight for their own freedom?
India was started this struggle in 1857. Do you want me to remind you? Yes, it was in 18. Two things I should shed light on it. When you said conflict, it's not conflict. It's an Israeli occupation. Yes. Absolutely, there is nothing. Because again, the media is succeeded to put some wording, the conflict, ceasefire. Do you know what the meaning of ceasefire? Ceasefire means that there are two armies fighting against each other. Then someone should come or third party. But this is not ceasefire at all. And the Israeli-American war on Gaza, not in Gaza also. Again, and another very important issue when it came to the Palestinian in Gaza, Palestinian at large and any Palestinian, the question should not be whether you lost some or one or of your relative or not, how much. It should be, the question should be how much you lost. Again, much to talk about it, but if you want me to spread or to say something in specific, I want you to just to shed light on exactly what do you want me in this particular issue to say about our struggle or
No, You mentioned that is the same situation you're facing that India faced in 1947 about the freedom struggle, but world was different that time, okay? And now after 70 years, the world is not same. So what challenges are there when you're fighting your own freedom struggle in Palestine?
Now, intentionally, I ask you to repeat it because the word was different. The Zionist movement was at that time is still. When you started your struggle, 1857, you did not, your struggle was against one country called United Kingdom, not the Zionist movement. We are facing the Zionist movement, and the Zionist movement is something bigger than what could you imagine. Zionist movement mean the dollar empire, the money empire at large. And I'm not revealing a secret when I say that the Zionist movement mean the money empire and the media empire. So that we are facing two empires, money empires, and while you used to face just United Kingdom, the British themselves, the colonizer. But we are facing the most devastating, the most evil. And when I say evil, I know that they might put a lot of two lines, headlines. He said the Palestinian ambassador. Yes, the most evil movement or the most evil issue that anyone can face it, we, the Palestinian, is the Zionist movement. And this is not anti-Semitic again, because they are trying to say that anyone touch the Zionist movement, this is anti-Semitic. Even this is not anti-Semitic. Do you want me to accept the one who, the Zionist movement, which is occupying me, destroying my life, to welcome them? Otherwise I will be anti-Semitic? No. So we are facing, this is the point, this is the difference. We are facing the money empire and the media empire. And let us be very frank, many of the politicians worldwide, to some extent, is subject or will going to align themselves with the media and the money empire. But we're still there as a Palestinian because for very simple reason, we rely on the power of logic. We rely on our historical right on this land, Palestine land. They rely on the logic of power. And you in India tried this when you was relying, when you was abiding, when you was aligned with the logic, the power of logic, and the other align with the power, logic of power, so that you gain your freedom, and one day, without no hesitation, we will gain our freedom.
Right. Just quickly one follow-up question to this. You mentioned about media and money. One more thing we are discussing on global platforms about military-industrial complex and how this alliance is operating against Palestinian people and for their cause.
When it came to the military-industrial complex, this is in Google, you can find this information. United States of America alone paid Israel $30.7 billion during the last 2 years. It's not money. Bombs, hazardous missiles, and all of these stuff. So $30.7 billion. This is United States of America alone. Put aside Israel itself, how much it is produced. Put aside also many of the Western countries, which is still providing. Just a few days ago, one of the Western countries was United Kingdom, for example, one of the millions of bullets that sent to Israel during the last millions of bullets, which means that out of the millions, at least 1% of these millions killed some of the Palestinian children. So that all of them, all of these industrial complexes is part of this war on the Palestinian people. And but again, this is not how to prove. It's already proved, and you were in the United Kingdom when you saw a lot of demonstration in front of some of those. I will not go. Yes, it was there. It's there. Even in Israel, they used to discuss it in Haaretz and other. All of this reporting is there. United Nations Human Rights Council issue a report called the economy of genocide, and all of it's there. But the issue again, we should back to, do we have the right or the ability to screen it, this type of information? No, this is the point. But yes, there is tens of thousands of different type of military objects that had been supplied to Israel. And I'm not revealing a secret when I say that part of these objects is a new invented object. They used to send it to Israel to test it. Do you know that? There is, I did not remember the name of the investigation journalist. He is a Jewish from Australia who wrote a book, Palestine, the Laboratory. You can Google it. He talked about this fact long time ago. So part of the war is to test a new a military device, to test new military weapons, and it is for free by the producer of these weapons.
There is one more book, if those who are interested to understand military-industrial complex, the leader from, the member of parliament from UK, Jeremy Corbyn, he edited a wonderful book on this topic. Quickly, when we are talking about these military equipments and everything, who is doing agitations at global level is very important. I will quickly share one thing. Dockyard workers in Greece, they refused to load the ships with the ammunition which was going to Israel. So always the working class, if you see during the Bangladesh war also, there are a lot of documents are available. Dockyard workers always took the stand. They will not support or they will not load this kind of armed consignments. So it's very important. And during the flotilla also, these workers took the stand. If you blockade the flotilla, we will, in Italy, they decided we will build a protest across the Italy. So I think that is very important. And quickly for this, how this situation in Palestine help us to understand the current power structures in the world or global power structures.
Yes, the war in Gaza, through the social media itself, was shaken all the classical media. And today the discourse at the high level in America, if you are following it, I'm pretty sure many of you are following it, is we lost the war. And now it's the war against TikTok. See, many of the leaders, political leaders in America right now, is launching a war against the social media, in particular the TikTok, because they believe they lost the new Jewish generation in the campuses, in the streets, in their home, the new Jewish, which is, by the end of the day, it's not related to Jewish or Muslim or it's something absolutely is not related, our subject is not related to the religions. But during the last 2 years, with all the censored and the logarithm that developed to censor any video to be published and or photo to be published in the social media, but still thousands of these videos that came from Gaza and West Bank right now is reached the new generation in America, in Europe, in Australia, for example. Anyone could imagine that 3 years ago, Australia can conduct a 3-person to conduct a demonstration for the Palestinian question? Absolutely. Especially Australia, for example. United Kingdom and other, but millions of people, vast majority was the ultimate vast majority was the Christian people. So that when I say that it's not related to the religion, even though they are trying to take it to the religious issue, but all of them was demonstrate because the classical media, the controlled classical media, the screens, which did not give us the chance to tell our story, with 30 second, 20 second of the social media that show how the killing of the Palestinian, which I used to call it a live stream genocide, succeeded to reach the others so that they shake the social media, the new form of media, shake the old narrative, the old belief of Israel, which is the only democracy in the world, most moral army. Then the people start to wake up to see, is this the most moral army? Because some of the videos, and thanks to the technology today with $100 you can fill your street with cameras. Just yesterday, one of the settlers who raided one of the West Bank villages intentionally rammed, and I'm not pretty sure whether the child killed or not, but I think his legs was broken. It's there, the video was there. It published in the social media and it succeeded to publish. When we used to say that some of our child used to be killed just for fun, to snap a video, to publish it in their social media, it's fact, and it's fact not because we want to see it, we want to say it. It's fact because it's published fact. So yes, the new type of media, the non-classical controlled media, but it seems that they will going to censor it, and I already mentioned that our WhatsApp group, our WhatsApp face here in India is only 31 followers. The new type of media succeeded to shake the old beliefs and the old narrative of the Zionist movement, and it is supported.
Earlier you spoke about how in this new world, in this different world, the challenges in front of the Palestinian resistance are even more difficult. And I think another one of the biggest challenges or pains is the alienation of a Palestinian from their own culture, from their own land, from everything that's their own, and may it be in the form of stealing their lands, their homes, and then Israelis calling them their own homes, when they have no history attached or no ancestry attached to that place. Or even it happens with Palestinian cuisine, with Palestinian songs, culture. So how do you see this cultural appropriation and its legitimization by the media?
Once we talk about stolen the Palestinian property, land, homes, let me just remind you 78 years ago when the United Nations General Assembly adopted the resolution 181, which called also partition plan of Palestine, and I personally checked the original map of the partition plan of Palestine in the Hammarskjöld library in the United Nations. And anyone is going to there just to go to the library and to say, I want to see the original map of the partition plan of Palestine. At that time, Palestinian people, we, the indigenous people, owned 94% of the historical land of Palestine, according to the title deeds that we still have it up to date. And personally, me, likewise, all the Palestinians still have our old home, the very old, the big keys at that time. Israel today, and you can Google this information, because when I say Google, because the main screens will not give you the chance to find this information. Israel up today managing, using, and dealing with our property with a special law called absentee property law. Let me repeat it. Israel is dealing with our original property up to date with a special law called absentee property law. Up to date, in every day, The Israeli terrorist settler. When I say terrorist, this is not our word. Many of the Israeli leader, political leader, used to say this is type of terrorist act. Many of the Israeli settler, terrorist settler, fully backed by the Israeli army, confiscating our land. I have approximately less than 1 acre. We use the word dunum. Dunum, which is 1,000 square kilometer, 2.7 dunum, 2,700 square meter. I did not have the right or the ability to reach it since more than 3 years, since the war was begun. Because they decided no one should come to her. It's loud, it's declared position to confiscate and to expel the Palestinian people from their homeland. They used to attack the people in their homes and to take the homes itself. Up to today, any one of you will going to visit Haifa, which is old city in old Palestine, Jaffa, old Jerusalem, all the homes, without no exception, all the homes, without no exception, Haifa, Jaffa, Safad, Jerusalem, is a pure Palestinian homes. Israel has rented it or dealt with it with the special law. So that when it came to confiscate, to hijack, to take the Palestinian property, homes, land, it's a declared position by the Israeli. But again and again and again and again, no one will give us the chance from the main media, mainstream media will give us the chance to talk about this. It's in the reports, in the UN reports, in a daily basis, UN human rights reporting and updating its reports. It's there. Even the Israeli human rights organization is used to B'Tselem, Hamouked, and all of this stuff is used to document this unlaw and anarchist attack against the Palestinian people, terrorist attack. But unfortunately, no one, again, know about this again and again, because the media, the controlled media, and the complicit, of course, politician.
Yeah, just quickly a question about Israeli Prime Minister, because he's coming with the strong personality in the politics and portraying. Media is presenting him as a strong world leader. But I remember when this issue started in last 2 years, there was an issue with the corruption case with the Netanyahu. So what was the political situation in Israel and how that is affecting the whole issue in the region? There is a documentary, interesting documentary, those are interested, called Baby Files. It's a documentary of the investigation of Netanyahu's corruption case, and it's not discussed anywhere in India. So if you get opportunity, please do watch that documentary. Yeah.
3 points, of course. When you mentioned Benjamin Netanyahu, personally, I used to say the fugitive from international justice. And again, I did not, no need to repeat myself. This is his legal classification according to the international law. Whether he is a strong political leader, yes, if you're gonna measure his strength, how much Palestinian he killed, he's very strong. But the same exact issue, since this is the principle, you should say also Hitler was a strong political leader because he killed millions of people. No, this is not the way we should judge the political leader. He's not strong, he's very cruel because he is using, because strong means that he's fighting like a hero. When you are using the fighting jet, F-35 and all of these devastating weapons against the children in Gaza, you are not strong and you are not hero. You are very cruel. And this is the only issue that he should be the cruel fugitive from justice, Benjamin Netanyahu. When it came to the corruption, yes. And this is not our word. At all, this is not our word. And there is 3 cases against him, was 3 cases against him before even the war. And now He refused to investigate or to establish even internal committee to investigate what happened on October 7th. And here, allow me to say more than one issue. On October 7th, the first ever reaction that came from the Israeli military army after 6.5 hours of the attack. Big question mark. If you have an accident in the street here in India, within 10 minutes, with all the jam of the traffic, within 10 minutes, 15 minutes, the ambulance, the rescue team will be there. A military attack, so to speak. The first ever reaction is to come after 6.5 hours. The very first issue that should be taken by the Israeli government and the Israel is to shut down the telecommunication system from Gaza and West Bank, which is, it need on-off because everything is controlled in Gaza. But even though they did not shut down the telecommunication system, 2 months ago, one of the Palestinians was arrested in the United States of America because he was used the net, the telecommunication net inside Israel in October 7th. Could you imagine? There is much to talk about it when it came to October 7th, and there are 4 questions should be answered. Why? Why it happened? What was happened at that day? Because yet we did not know. We have the Israeli propaganda, and if you take a look to the mass destruction in the 3rd floor, 3 floors buildings, you know that the Palestinian weapons, light weapons, cannot destroy this type of building, or cannot make this mass destruction. And even though this corrupt fugitive from justice person, yet he refused to establish an internal investigation committee. 4 questions should be answered. Why? What happened at that day? Why it happened? What happened? Who conducted it? Yes, the Palestinian, the hand of the Palestinian, but who is behind it? And we should not remove the false flag attack theory from the table. This is absolutely should be discussed. And where? Then the 4th question should be, where should we go? And to do so, we the Palestinians would like to see and call for an international investigation, independent inquiry commission to come to investigate what happened in October 7th, because it is affect every one of you life. So you deserve to know what happened exactly, why, what, where, who conducted it at that time.
We would just like to ask one last quick question, because I know His Excellency needs to travel back today itself. So just this last question is that, do you see any changes in Palestine's relationship with other countries after Yasser Arafat?
No, we cannot judge the time of Yasser Arafat, which I'm from the school of Yasser Arafat. Of course, and now I'm working under the leadership, of course, of His Excellency President Mahmoud Abbas. World at large was changed. At large, it's not only Yasser Arafat. The world, the entire world was changed. Even our social life was completely changed in the last 15 to 20 years. This is not the regular life that me in person was born to live it. It's a complete life that I still did not adapt to it up to date because of the telecommunication. And this is something we should accept it. Life is, you did not, I think Aristo said one day that you did not swim in the river 2 times. Aristo, yes? Something like this. Aristo, I think he said, you cannot swim in the river 2 times because the water is running. And the life is develop. My son, I studied the economy. I have an BA and master degree in economy, and my son now is studying economy in Spain, and he used to tell me issues that I used to tell him, this is not the theory that I studied. The basic is the same, but it seems that they change the tools and how to explain it. So no, there is a lot of change from the era of Yasser Arafat, Indira Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru. At that time, everything is a change. But the question is, how could we be clever enough as a human being, as individual, to make sure that this is change for our benefit, not to harm our future. This change should be for our benefit. I used to tell my child, listen, you are more clever, and the new generation here, whom is from, might be the old generation, a few of us here, but the new generation, all of you, is more clever than us for a very simple reason. You can bring any piece of information within a few seconds. But when I was very young, 16, 18, 20 years, I need to read the books to reach this info. So you are very clever than us. You are more educated than us. You have a brilliant future, better than our current present. But the question is how to come together to make sure this is change in our favor, and in again, the world is one family, and no one is safe until everyone is safe.
Thank you, Ambassador. Just quick question. You mentioned about the future. No, you have to reach airport on time. So okay. The question is about the BDS. Just quickly for audience, there is a movement going on called BDS, which is a Palestinian-led movement. It generally called boycott, divestment and sanctions. मराठीमध्ये त्याला आपण म्हणू की बहिष्कार, इस्रायलवरती बहिष्कार टाकणं, गुंतवणुकी थांबणं आणि निर्बंध लादणं. So what achieved through BDS? And immediately one more question, which is about the Gaza reconstruction plan. So now there are 2 plans are ready, but what the people from Palestine they are expecting about the Gaza reconstruction plan?
Again, the BDS movement is a movement that created by individual, but we, as a Palestine Liberation Organization, I am personally, as a representative of Palestine, the ambassador of Palestine, I used to say loud and clear, boycott the Israeli occupation. All of you boycott the Israeli occupation. It's easy. We should not hesitate to be very strong and to raise, don't boycott Israel. We did not call you to boycott, but boycott the Israeli occupation. Boycott the Israeli settlement. You cannot say, as a Western country, as any country, to say that we are strongly against the Israeli settlement. Then the Israeli settlement product is flooding your shelves. This is hypocrisy, this is double standard, and you are paying the Palestinian lip services. Boycott the Israeli occupation, boycott the Israeli settlement, one word, loud and clear, day and night. We did not stay, we will not hesitate to say that. Don't allow any Israeli settler to be ambassador in any country. Don't invest in the Israeli settlement, period. Don't trade with the Israeli settlement. And any company supported the Israeli war on Gaza, it's your decision. And once you boycott one of these companies, especially here in India, absolutely you will going to eat or drink the alternative, which is your national and your local, your domestic alternative. So go to your domestic. You did not want to boycott X or Y of the company. Go to your domestic product. When it came to the reconstruction plan, we already, in the Palestinian National Authority, with the support of the World Bank Corporation, with the United Nations, EU, and other entities, we already published the initial recovery and early recovery and reconstruction plan for Gaza, which will cost $57 billion. But yet, this is the first estimation. Gaza already destroyed. Just today or yesterday, I think, the UN, one of the UN entities published a new report talking about 81%, according to the UN satellite image, 81% of the building and building infrastructure and all of this stuff in Gaza is damaged. Of course, there is much to talk about it when it came to the destruction. The mass destruction was conducted, which is to serve one goal: finish the job. Did anyone hear about the word finish the job? It's the secret code in Israel to expel the Palestinian people. In Israel, they believe that Ben Gurion, the godfather of establishing of Israel in 1948, had the ability to expel the entire Palestinian people from the entire historical land of Palestine, but he did not finish his job. So that the fugitive from justice in last November in the United Nations, when he said from the podium, we will finish the job. This is the secret code for his people, that we will going to expel the Palestinian people. So that the war in Gaza was not to serve any goal except the expelling of the Palestinian people from the Gaza. This is a declared goal. Up to date, they are declaring it, not only in Gaza and also in West Bank itself.
I think this was a really, it was a very insightful discussion, and I'm sure, as you said, we are shown a very different perspective. Most of us who are here to listen to you, we always try to look for the perspective that's hidden by the biased media through any way possible. Biased and complicit, yes. And today, all of us had gathered here to, this was another way to look for that perspective, to look for what was hidden from us. So thank you so much that you agreed to be a part of this conclave, and you came here and you spoke to us today. And I think I would like to conclude this by repeating what Sir quoted earlier, that no one is safe until everyone is safe, and adding to that, that also no one is free until all of us are free. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much indeed. Just to conclude by saying that, be a game changer. It's not our future as a Palestinian. We will continue in our land. Yes, we are suffering. But you will not be safe. Because if you accept the trampling of the international law, the case was happened right now in Palestine. If you accepted it to be in Palestine, who will guarantee that it will not be repeated in other country? No one is safe until everyone is safe. Humanity is one family. Thank you so much.